high school football. We welcome you to the Warrior Coliseum on the campus of Pieper High School as the undefeated Pieper Warriors get set to start for what they hope is a long playoff run and even besting last year's run to the regional final. 10-0, as mentioned, undefeated. And on the other side, the Southwest Legacy Titans. Noah Tor alongside. And Noah, as you look at this matchup, I know you have some thoughts on what you'll be looking for. Take us through what you'll have your eye on for both the Titans and the Warriors ahead of a first-round high school football playoff game.
There's a couple of things to look at least right off the bat. So you want to look at, for Southwest Legacy High School, the Titans. Full name, by the way, Southwest Legacy. Like, that's a Piper short, Southwest, like, whatever. We're getting off on a tangent. Southwest Legacy, they're allowing only 14 points per game. Not a lot. Piper is averaging per game a lot more points than that. So the defense of Southwest Legacy is something that you're going to watch. And then that offense. They have what at least I like to call a QB committee. Most of the time you see a running back committee where they've got a couple different guys. Like for the Warriors, that's John Hamilton. You've got Brady Hopper. But on the other side, they've got 3 different guys they throw in at quarterback. And so you're going to see them rotate in and out at quarterback. But the guy who's going to stay consistent is number 1, James Ross. Future D1 prospect. I'm calling it current D1 prospect, future D1 player. Calling that right now. And so you've got this offense of ground and pound versus when in doubt, air it out. That's what we're watching for tonight.
How's the saying go? The irresistible force versus the immovable object?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
We'll see which one wins out tonight. Piper is set to get the ball first. Noah mentioning Southwest Legacy, part of the Southwest ISD that includes Southwest High School. The Dragons won that District 14 5A in Division 1. They finished undefeated at 10-0, including an 8-0 mark in district. Jay finished second at 9-1, 7-1 in district play. South San 8-2, 6-2, third in district play. And rounding out the 4 playoff teams from District 14 5A1, these Titans here from Southwest Legacy finishing 7-3, including 5-3 in divisional competition. Fielded by Isaiah Champagne is the kick, I should say, right around the 25, gets across it, not nearly to the 30, and the Warriors will start their first possession of the playoffs at their own 29-yard line.
That's a small example of a potential bigger thing. Piper not known for making big mistakes, but when they do make the occasional mistake, they are really quick to bounce back. Isaiah Champagne able to get a hold of the football after it fell out of his hands, but could have been a costly mistake for the Warriors right off the bat.
Leading that Warrior offense, Caden Keith, a young man who in his first year enjoyed one heck of a season. 34 touchdowns this regular season against only 8 interceptions, throwing for nearly 3,000 yards, 29.92 to be exact, and completing 70% of his passes. Completes his first one here. Isaiah Champagne out route, good for about 4 depending on the spot.
That connection between Champagne and Keith is going to be the one to watch for tonight. Keith completing 70% of his passes, and a lot of them going to Champagne. Champagne, you know how many touchdowns he has?
How many?
14.
14.
He's got a few.
Just a couple. 53 receptions during the regular season for Champagne. Keith rolling to his right, lets it go. Sideline, complete again. Champagne from one end of the field to the other, and a first down for the Warriors.
Little pump fake over the middle. The grind staff ended up falling, so I don't know if it was a pump fake or he just held onto the football as he threw it, held onto it, got it over to Champagne. Hey, 2 for 2 to Champagne. Got to watch it.
1,026 receiving yards for Isaiah during the regular season. Ball at the 41 with a new set of downs for the undefeated Warriors. Evan Drake goes in motion. Twins to our side, single receiver to the far side. Keith looking left, now looking middle, deep. Andrew Grindstaff at the 25, and Andrew Grindstaff's giving Piper an early lead, 29 seconds into the ball game.
That is absolutely unreal. He had Daniel Martinez, the quarterback, and then he also had the high safety, Oliver Mendoza. Grindstaff literally just ran his route right up the middle. It was a broken, busted, beat-up coverage for the Titans. And Caden Keith, 1, 2, 3, wait. Bangarang time, touchdown Warriors.
Daniel Miranda on for the extra point. Snap, hold, kick. Good. And the Pieper Warriors on the 5th touchdown overall for Andrew Grindstaff in 2024 take a 7-0 lead with 11:31 still remaining in the ball game, the opening quarter of this first playoff ball game. We're back after this right here on the Warriors Network.
If you choose to love me, if you choose to leave.
Warriors Network, Logan Lopez set to kick off following a touchdown in the first 29 seconds of the ball game. Andrew Grindstaff on a long pass from Caden Keith. The ensuing kickoff run out of bounds. Looking to make something happen was Ahmad Polk. And so Southwest Legacy will start at exactly its own 20 following the big roundhouse by the Warriors to start tonight's ball game.
I think one of my favorite things about this broadcast so far is how casual, I think, at least me, I don't know about you, Hector, how I've been about a Warriors touchdown within the first 29 seconds.
Right.
We're just like, yeah, it's Caden Keith, and,
Right.
and the high-powered offense. We're just like, yeah, it's what they do, 29 seconds. I don't know if that's the fastest touchdown, but it's got to be up there, at least top 3.
It is a Warrior team that scores in absolute bunches. The give on 1st and 10, not much there across the 20 before the Warriors able to converge there in a hurry. James Ross, the man you mentioned just moments ago, getting the first touch for Legacy.
James Ross, 5'9", 180. You look at those two things alone, and you go, okay, he can't be that big, he can't be that good. But then you look at him on the football field, and you go, okay, that actually might be a small grown man. That actually is what that is. And small is light. To say he's 180, 5'9", the team of the Titans will go just as far as Ross takes them tonight.
15 rushing touchdowns during the regular season. Here he is again coming left. 1,300 yards exactly during the regular season. He picks up a couple more here, so to bring up second, and I'm going to say 3 or third, and I'm going to say right around 3 depending on the spot. They're putting it at the 28. They need to get to the 31.
130 yards a game for James Ross. That's ridiculous. That is the antidote. If you want to figure out how to keep the Pieper Warriors offense off the field, run the ball a lot and do it well.
6.5 yards per carry. He touched it 200 times on the ground. First down here on his 3rd straight carry of the ball game. It's a Legacy team that is led by their quarterback, Isaiah Campa. He's a senior, wears number 16. When they go air it out, they'll go to Cano Esquivel, Paul Levine, Henry Hernandez, and Isaac Castillo. Tight ends and H-backs are Elias Rodriguez. Again, Polk coming left, so plenty of Polk, not a surprise. As mentioned, 200 carries during the regular season, so they're going to go to him a whole lot, especially early in this ball game.
The Titans love that H-back position. Oftentimes they will use that H-back, also known as a tight end, but it is a little bit different. The H-back normally lines up in the backfield right behind either the left tackle or the right tackle on the sides, kind of where the tight end should be, but they'll more often than not use a lot of extra blockers, which will help against the man with the hammer, Thor Mickelbust, who's got 5 sacks on the season, 9 tackles for loss. 5
plays offensively in this ball game so far for Southwest Legacy, 5 carries for James Ross. He's running behind the line made up of tackles Josh Flores and Alex Nesica. The guards are Jeremiah Gibson and Robert Dillard. The center is Jeremy Cáceres. Brings up 3rd and 3 as the Legacy Titans look for their second first down of this opening possession following a score within the first half a minute of the ball game on Pieper's end. Direct snap to Ross. Got maybe past the line of scrimmage. They're going to give him 2, but not near the first. Well, actually near the first down, but not to the first down marker, I should say. So it brings up a 4th and 1 at their own 47.
Ross tried to punch that hole, either B-gap or C-gap, somewhere on the left side. Couldn't see who got there first, but that Pieper Warriors defense swarmed to the line of scrimmage, was able to hold him back just enough, and now we got 4th and 1, and they are lining up.
Yep, the offense still on the field, and I think if you're Southwest Legacy here, you're thinking head coach Robert Bruce thinking we've got to do everything we can to keep their offense off the field. Ross, again, direct snap, gets the first down to right around midfield. I think they're going to give him the 50 based on forward progress, and they do. First down.
And for the Titans, zero concern whenever it comes into second and long because you know you've got Ross, and he's the guy. You can give him the ball. Either give him the ball through the quarterback or apparently you can just give him the ball directly, and he's going to make something happen. He's going to get you those 3, those 4, those 5 yards, just enough to keep the ball moving and keep that offense off the field. Pieper had the ball for 30 seconds. The Titans have already had the ball for over 4 minutes.
Yeah, James Ross watch continues movement. This flag, it's going to be a false start on the Titans. They've had 7 plays, and on each one of those plays, James Ross has touched the ball. The last 2 on direct snap.
I saw a video the other day. This is not off this is on target, I promise.
Uh-huh.
I saw a video the other day talking about Derrick Henry in high school. Derrick Henry in one game had 57 carries. And they just hand him the ball, and they were like, oh, just go take care of it. His high school coach came up to him and asked him at one point. They said, hey, are you okay? And he goes, yeah, I'm great. Just keep handing me the ball. That's what it feels like in James Ross. Not to say he's Derrick Henry, but let's call him high school Derrick Henry.
Here he is again on 1st and 15 from the 45. He comes around left to cross midfield, still on his feet to the 40. Into the 35, and James Ross on 1st and 15 gets what appears to be right around 22 yards. Biggest play from scrimmage for the Titans on James Ross's 8th straight touch to start the ball game, at least start their first offensive series.
That was a bonkers run. He ran off the right up the middle, cut it to the outside, broke a tackle, and then Bennett King, number 10 for Pieper, the free safety, caught a face full of James Ross's palm as he made it all the way out to the 23-yard line.
So the ball now at the 33 on 1st and 10. Ross again coming right. This time hit behind the line of scrimmage, stays on his feet, gets across the 30. So James to the right, James to the left, James for 4, James for 6, James for 22 continues.
I've got some analysis for you. I just think about this. Just chew on this. Just
Okay.
consider.
Okay.
I think Pieper might just maybe considering that James Ross might get the ball every time from now on. Or what the Titans are doing, which is beautiful, and I bet this is exactly what they're doing, is James Ross goes off the field.
There he is, exiting the field to the sideline.
They are using the run to open up the pass game because Pieper now is going to be so concerned about what's happening in the middle of the field or on the perimeter that the pass game is going to start to open up.
Interesting thing here, though, is no decoy because Ross off the field. So back to pass and penalty markers. Gampa unable to attempt his first pass of the ball game. It's delay a game on the Titans.
Can you even blame James Ross for that? Is that a thing? I don't think you should. I'm just hypothetically. And I don't blame him for not hustling off the field, considering his legs are so tired.
Surprised he wasn't crawling off the field at this point. What a wonderful start for that young man. Getting the ball on each of the first 9 plays from scrimmage for the Titans. As it stands, they still have it at the 33 here. On 2nd and 10. Another whistle.
Wow.
A back-to-back delay of games.
Wow.
Oh, that's a killer.
That is such. How do you do that back to back? I wasn't even watching the play clock, and I guess we should be.
Same here. I think you just kind of assume it's not going to have a second straight time.
That's
well.
That's
Here's the clock. Here's the clock winding down again. It's starting. That 25-second play clock is off and running. They're at under 14. There's a snap. Gampa back to pass for the first time. Airs it out. Tipped. So it fell short because it looked like Jackson Hopper got a hand on it. So it falls incomplete anyway you slice it.
Jackson Hopper was right. Actually, I think it was Raja Lopez.
Was it
Raj
Lopez?
Yes, he was right there. But it was a floater that came from QB Campa trying to find his main guy, Esquivel, right there. He was trying to find him on a little. He went up, counter, back out to the outside of the sideline. Lopez was right there, read it, got a hand on it, but a floater from Campa. And you can see that this pass game is not something that the Titans can a ton rely on, but it's something that can be helpful to the run game.
James Ross not on the field on 3rd and 15. Pass batted down by Jackson Hopper. Looking on an out route, trying to get it out to Cano Esquivel, and incomplete, and so 4th and 15. But I think, Noah, this is probably no man's land, right? You go here from the Pieper 38?
At the 30, I mean, you can't kick a field goal from there, but it looks like their punt team's coming out.
Interesting.
And you've got 4th and 15. I mean, you punt, try to get it inside the 10.
True.
You try to keep that ball outside the end zone. You don't want to touchback.
Yeah.
But you punt it, maybe even keep your QB in there, try to get a pooch kick, but then you can't let those guys get outside the 10-yard line. This has got to be a miraculous punt.
No, you raise an excellent point. It's not like it's 4th and 2. It's 4th and 15, and so, yeah, the likelihood you're going to make it, even considering where you are. And as you mentioned, if you can kind of pin them down a little bit, there's a fair catch made by Jackson Hopper. And so if your legacy, yeah, you take the victories when you can. Pieper will start at its own 13 as opposed to their own 40.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
That's a win. That you march the ball all the way down to the 24-yard line. Is it a loss that you had 2 delay games? Yes. Did you have to take James Ross out of the game? Yes. But we also saw the one key that we talked about at the beginning of this football game, where the team will go as far as James Ross will take them. 2 incompletes, both to Esquivel, and nothing doing. And so then you send Pieper back out onto the field where they've got this beautiful spread offense, and they're going to make some magic happen.
Caden Keith back to pass, airing it out. Isaiah Champagne down the center of the field, incomplete over his head. Some contact, but no flags.
Can we comment on officiating? Is that a thing is that a thing that we can do? That looked like, unless they're going to call overhead pass, it wasn't anywhere in the area. No receiver could get there. But I don't know. There was a shove in the back that came from free safety Montez.
Yeah.
Of the Titans. Little shove in the back, and maybe, if anything, the shove got him a little further closer to the ball. So, tit for tat, however you want to say it.
On his first carry of the ball game, Brady Hopper running in tight space. Not a whole lot there, maybe 3, depending on the spot. I think they're going to give him the 16, which would bring up 3rd and 7.
And this is where your defense, you want them to stand tall. The defense of the Titans running a 4-3, trying to contain this explosive offense and get the ball back.
Keith, the pitch, Champagne going right side. He's got some room. First down across the 25, skips past the 30. And that's where they'll mark it, right past the 3-0-yard line. 31 as Isaiah's helmet comes off. Got to put it back on. I think because of that, he's got to come off the field, if I'm not mistaken. Although it didn't look like he's headed toward the sideline. There he comes.
Cash Lancaster coming on for Champagne. Champagne, that little end around, the UIW commit, UIW commit.
Yes.
Coming around, that hole was there, but he had to hit it hard, and that quickness that he has got him right through, and he meeped all the way up to the first down marker.
Yeah, that's officially a pass with that pitch, as on this very next play, Pieper struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage. But I was going to say, rushing-wise, only 2 carries on the year for Isaiah, 11 yards, but he did score. Of his 2 carries, he scored on one of them. So they'll get him the ball any way they can, although, as mentioned, because of the rules and the way they play the game, that pitch officially counts as a reception on his end.
Which is just such a good stat patter for your QB. Just such a good stat patter.
2nd and 12, Keith, they put Hopper in motion, looking left. Looking at Hopper, now going over the middle. He's got Isaiah Champagne wide open, 45 inside Titan territory.
The Warriors have so many options. So many options. Keith was trying to find his man, Ethan Palmer, who was running downfield, 9 receptions on the year. Couldn't find him. Tried to go short to Brady Hopper. Pocket collapsing. He runs up. Jump throw. Finds who else? Isaiah Champagne.
At any given point, it feels like for Pieper, they've got 13 guys on the field on offense.
Yes.
That's how efficient and good they play offensive football often. Keith rolling to his right, throwback. There's Brady Hopper wide open, gets a block, cuts it up inside toward the 40, across the 35, still on his feet, inside the 20, pushed out of bounds at right around the 15-yard line.
Little screen. Everybody getting in on the action. 13th man. Who needs a 12th man when you have 13 that you can throw out there? Brady Hopper, the pocket, absolutely collapsed because there was no pocket when you throw the screen. So he rolled out. Brady Hopper ready, made a couple guys miss, and then Rodriguez, the middle linebacker for the Titans, caught a lick, and Hopper ran up the side.
Joel Montes preventing the touchdown with the tackle there. Grindstaff make it Hopper there in the corners, who Keith was looking for, overthrown just a bit. And so 2nd and 10 coming from the Titans 17.
Great coverage on the side by, it looked like Martinez, 32, or Mencias, one of those two. Either guy on the outside. Beautiful coverage by Hopper, and questionable throw by Keith. Underthrew it a little bit. You want to give your guy a chance. He underthrew Hopper on the right side. You want to throw it over, let it go over the defender so that you give your guy a one-on-one opportunity.
Keith shotgun twins to each side. John Hamilton's in the slot. That's who he's looking for. John Hamilton's got a touchdown. 13-0. Pieper on a 17-yard score on the pass from Caden Keith.
3rd receiving touchdown for the man, John Hamilton, the senior. One of the last few times that he will get to play at Warrior Coliseum. John Hamilton, just a seam right up into the end zone. Defense wasn't there. Keith knew exactly where to find his guy. Warriors go up by 13, almost maybe 14.
We'll see if Miranda does just that. Daniel boots it through, as he just about always does. Let's step aside right here on the Warriors Network. Pieper 14, Southwest Legacy 0 by district high school football playoff game from right here on the Pieper High School campus.
When I first started getting into picking my classes, I knew I wanted to do something where I could work with my hands. So I started that at a young age, working with my dad in his shop. As I kept going into shop, I started learning more and more about self-discipline, thinking about what I'm doing as I'm doing it. It's a great life skill to have. After I graduate, I'm going to use everything I have learned in the shop class, as well as FFA in a whole, to continue my career in welding. I found my people, my family, and what I enjoyed doing, and it set me up for my life to figure out the correct life plan for me and what I wanted to do.
It's a Pieper offense that scored 69 last week in the regular season finale in a win at Bernie Champion, scored 49 the week before that against Victoria East, scored 75 on October 26 against MacArthur, scored 49 against the good New Braunfels, a playoff-bound New Braunfels team on October 18th.
Oh!
Onside kick and recovered by Pieper. They're going to have it at the Southwest Legacy 48.
Gutsy! What a gutsy call from Nick Rogers. Oh, golly. That's not even fair. That's not even okay. It is okay, but it's not okay. You know what I mean? That is unreal. That's like Nick Saban in the national championship. He's like, you know what? Onside kick. It's like, Nick, are you serious? The stats don't line up. I don't think the analytics call for it. He said, I don't care. Roll some dice. Nick Rogers put another tally in the cap for inspirational coach of the year.
I mean, as if Pieper needs any help offensively, they're not getting it again here at the Titan 48. Grindstaff in motion, faking the handoff to Andrew, eventually to Isaiah Champagne, and there he goes. Like a rocket toward the 40, 38 is where he might have been knocked out of bounds, and that's right where the first down marker is, so it'll depend on the spot, and they are moving the chains.
Keith looked like he was just doing a little dance in the back. I mean, he literally had 2 fakes and then gave it to, of course, Champagne. I feel like we're just going to keep talking about Mr. Champagne Toast over here. He is given everything that he has to the Titans.
As mentioned, headed to UIW, so the Cardinals getting a good one. Over the middle, Keith looks to get out of trouble, now rolling to his left. Air it out while off his back foot in the direction of Champagne, but way out of bounds.
Keith is not known for his running ability, but he is quick and he can run. He just most of the time chooses not to. Keith, on the season, 285 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. Those normally come from inside the red zone. He's got some that are long, but a lot of the time he's going to be the one to punch it in when it's in there. But Keith, not normally the guy who's running a ton. He's more of a pocket passer. But as you saw right there, he's got some nice feet. He can dance when he's in the pocket.
And a strong arm. Threw it off his back foot, and that ball went 45, 50 yards. Here's John Hamilton around right side, across the 30, near the 25 and a first down for the Warriors.
45 yards off your back foot. That's like beach football.
Pretty much.
That's like you're just hanging out
like
with the boys or the ladies.
Throwing the Nerf football.
Yeah.
Do they still make Nerf footballs?
They do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I got the generational gap. I'll bridge it. I will bridge it.
I appreciate you. Trips to the left on 1st and 10 from the 25 for Keith. Keeps, fakes the pitch to Hamilton. In trouble. I think he's going to look to make something happen across the 15 near the 10. I said I think he's going to look to make something happen because for a second I thought he's going to throw it away. And instead, nope, he's kept it. And a good decision. Got an injured Titan on the field. Let's take a break. When we come back, the Warriors moving it again. They're up 14-0 on Southwest Legacy. First round of the 5A high school football playoffs.
Today, we are recognizing our unsung heroes, our custodial and maintenance workers. Our custodians are the people who turn the lights on, clean throughout the day, and have facilities ready for the next morning. District-wide, they're responsible for cleaning 5.1 million square feet of building space. Our maintenance workers specialize in areas including plumbing, electric, HVAC, carpentry, welding, landscaping, and more. They are on call in case of an emergency, and many times they start their day with a list of repairs in hand. They travel throughout our 589 square miles, and they complete between 10,000 to 12,000 work orders every year. I personally want to say thank you to each of these unsung heroes, and I encourage you to take some time.
Warrior Coliseum, Southwest Legacy taking a timeout following the injury timeout. By the way, it appears the Titan who was down appears to be okay. He was able to run off the field on his own power. And so good signs there. And so, Noah, even though we've only played, I'm doing quick math, 9 minutes and or 8 minutes and 32 seconds of this ball game so far. Already a lot's happened. Your thoughts here on the early goings of this game?
Well, we've seen the impact of James Ross, what he has when he's on the field versus off the field for the Titans. James Ross, when he is on the field, the Titans move the ball. Is it a lot? No. Do they move it a little bit? Absolutely. The ball continues moving when James Ross is on the field for the Titans. And for the Warriors, I mean, their offense is good. Like that, I think that's about it. They've got so many options they can use. John Hamilton, running back and receiver. Isaiah Champagne, running back and receiver. Caden Keith can run and throw the football. It doesn't matter what the defense is trying to do because Caden Keith has been able to pick them apart piece by piece, and they have no answer for the blitzkrieg of yardage that the Warriors can make.
Keith looking left, goes right, has a lane. Now he's going to take it. And he's got a touchdown. 20-0, Pieper with the extra point to come. Caden Keith has thrown 2 touchdown passes already. He now rushes for 1.
Pieper, everybody was off on the left side, drew the defense over left. Caden Keith rolled right, trying to find his guy, Evan Drake, who ran an out route to the sideline of the end zone. Keith tried to pull him back left. Defense stayed with it, and Keith had a wide open lane to run in, score the tutty, and the Warriors go up 21-0 in the first quarter.
Courtesy of the Daniel Miranda extra point. We're back after this right here on the Warriors Network. All Pieper in a first-round high school football playoff game.
To the ends of the earth I will. I'll follow you where the horizon meets the sunrise. If that's just what you choose to do. If you choose to love me, if you choose to leave.
Daniel Miranda to kick us off following a third Pieper touchdown. Another onside kick. This one Trouble with it and loose.
No way.
And we'll see if Pieper recovered again. Yes, they did.
That's just mean.
Well, I was thinking about this during the break. And the advantage that Pieper has, because their offense is so explosive, is that oftentimes in covering them this year, you'll notice that the other team, before they have a chance to get their feet set, they're already down 21-28-0 to these Pieper Warriors. And I think Coach Nick Rogers, understanding that, wants to lean on that as much as possible, is put these teams in a hole to where almost from the get-go it seems like it's insurmountable. And already 21-0 with 3 minutes to go, and they've got the ball. Keith over the middle. Champagne open. Touchdown Pieper. Video game style. 3:05 to go in the quarter still. A 4th touchdown and a 27-0 lead.
We're on pro level on Madden. Somebody needs to up it. Somebody needs to put it on veterans. Somebody needs to at least put it on all pro. This is ridiculous. Isaiah Champagne, the analysis, Isaiah Champagne ran up the middle. Caden Keith says, I see you. I'd like to throw you the football. And then he did the thing where he threw him the football, and he was also in the thing where he was wide open. And then Daniel Miranda did his thing where he made the extra point. And so now we have 28 points.
Caden Keith accounting for all 4 touchdowns, 3 of them through the air, 1 of them on the ground. We're back after this. Warriors all over Southwest Legacy in a first-round playoff showing that's been very impressive to this point for the Warriors.
To the ends of the earth I will. I'll follow you where the horizon meets the sunrise, if that's just what you choose to do. If you choose to love me, if you choose to leave.
Still got 3:05 remaining in the opening quarter of this first round 5A playoff game, and already Pieper leads it 28-0 over Southwest Legacy. The Warriors benefiting on recovering 2 onside kicks in the last several minutes. So Logan Lopez boots this one through. Going to go through the back of the end zone, and so Southwest Legacy will get the ball for only the 2nd time in this ball game, even though they're down 28-0.
What do you say? What do you tell your team as you're rolling out? The only thing, because you also have to remember, these guys are mostly under 18. There are some 18-year-olds out there, but 17 to 18-year-olds walking out. Your score, you are down 28-0, basically playing an away game. It's listed as neutral. This is basically an away game, and you're down by 4 touchdowns.
Handoff right. That's not James Ross. Isaiah Lavra. So I'm wondering if James Ross is okay. Not on the field. He was so effective. He got the ball on the first 9 plays from scrimmage, and then he went out, and I think we justifiably thought, okay, he's just taking a breather. But since then, he didn't play the last several plays of that first possession, and I'm not out there to start this possession.
This similar situation happened when Pieper was playing against Johnson High School. Bubba Johnson, D1 athlete also, the guy who carried the Johnson Jaguars, went out there. He went out injured.
Yeah, there's a screen pass to Cano Esquivel. Out of bounds penalty there. That has all the makings of some kind of a late hit or something that's certainly unsportsmanlike. For now, Esquivel run out of bounds at his own 28.
As earlier in the season, Bubba Johnson, he was the guy who carried Johnson High School. As the penalty is personal foul on the defense. Ball's going to march up the field for the Titans, which is good news for them. Ball marching up the field. You need that ball to start moving, especially if James Ross is not out there. But Pieper playing against prolific running back. Running back plays for a little bit, causes some damage, and then goes out with an injury. Same thing happening for the Titans. Prolific running back making some moves, starting with some damage, giving it to the Warriors, and then he goes out with potentially an injury. Not for sure, but at least potentially an injury, leaves the rest of his team struggling.
Are they saying that's a live ball?
Live ball. Pieper football.
They're saying that's a fumble.
Wow.
Okay, Cano Esquivel caught it, hit, fumbled it. Excuse me, I don't know if it was Jackson Hopper. I see 13 getting some progressions walking off the field. Either way, Pieper recovered, and the Warriors now have it at the Titan 42.
So the Yellow Hats start coming on maybe in a little bit here, potentially.
Here's another look. There's the hit. Oh, that's awfully close as to whether that's a completion.
That is so close. But there's no replay in high school football.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Well, Caden Keith and the Warrior offense isn't complaining. Hand off to Hopper. Cross the 40. Cross the 35. Down at right around the 32.
Hopper, such a patient run right there as he ran to the outside, let all of his blocks develop. Didn't go full speed. That guy can run so much faster than what he just showed right there. But let his blocks develop and churned out 9 yards. Both Hopper and Hamilton averaging 6 yards a carry.
2nd and 1 at the 33. Keith looking right. Champagne on the little slant. Takes a hit. I don't know if he got back to the line of scrimmage.
That's a hit. That's a huge hit from number 9, Rodriguez. That's exactly what you – I mean, he got up. He was lit, and as you should be. Whereas a defense, you've given up 28 points. You absolutely need everything out of that. You milk that moment for as much as you can get out of it.
Desmius Rodriguez, as Noah mentioned, on that tackle. So they're going to give Champagne the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 1. Trips to our side. Keith coming this way. Lets it go. There's Champagne, 25. He's open. Gets to the 20. Steps out of bounds. We're not going to take another lick on that play.
Easy and out. Easy and out. Keith to Champagne. That connection is solid. And the Warriors now close, inching inside the red zone where they have an opportunity to score 35 points in the first quarter.
We're under a minute, 54 seconds exactly in this opening period. Keith goes right, airing it out. Big Evan Drake down there just over his grasp.
Evan Drake built like a tight end, but always normally lines up either on the outside or at least in that wide out spot. Again, one-on-one ball by Caden Keith. If there's one critique that we can throw out of, hey, Caden Keith can tweak this, this is an opportunity for improvement. This is an OIF, opportunity for OFI. That's what it is. OFI. I got there. OFI.
No, yeah, I got you. I got you.
This is bad news. We're already struggling. OFI. The one-on-one balls have been a little bit short for Caden Keith.
He's got chips at the top. He puts Brady Hopper in motion. Brady gets the ball.
About to say OIF. What is that? I literally sit there trying to figure out what that means.
That's
OFI.
Okay. I think we all know what you meant. Jose Mancias to stop for the Titans. And for any other team, I'd say that's probably the last play of the first quarter, not the way Pieper runs it. They're going to get another play off. The play clock already starting, though. Sometimes it doesn't start quite so quickly. And so Pieper does have to get another play off.
If you're head coach Nick Rogers, you take a shot for the end zone and you make a statement. You put the rest of 5A D2 on notice.
3rd and 6 at the 17. Hopper, the carry. He's got a lane inside. Touchdown, Brady Hopper. Pieper, 34-0 late in the first quarter.
I mean, you don't even know if that's what he was shooting for or gunning for, but he made it all the way over. Oh, we have a penalty marker on the field.
We
no
do have
touchdown.
A flag. Yep,
Looks like holding.
Holding on Pieper so it'd come back. But the clock struck 0 as Hopper crossed the end zone. And so that's how the first quarter comes to an end. All Pieper up 28-0, looking to make it 35. They thought they had for a minute there, but still an opportunity to go up 5 touchdowns. You're watching the Warriors Network right here from the campus of Pieper High School.
Today, we are recognizing our unsung heroes, our custodial and maintenance workers. Our custodians are the people who turn the lights on, clean throughout the day, and have facilities ready for the next morning. District-wide, they're responsible for cleaning 5.1 million square feet of building space. Our maintenance workers specialize in areas including plumbing, electric, HVAC, carpentry, welding, landscaping, and more. They are on call in case of an emergency, and many times they start their day with a list of repairs in hand. They travel throughout our 589 square miles, and they complete between 10,000 to 12,000 work orders every year. I personally want to say thank you to each of these unsung heroes, and I encourage you to take some time to do the same. Truly, together, we are growing greatness.
Second quarter, the Warriors on top of Southwest Legacy 28-0, and they got it 3rd and 5 at the Titans' 15-yard line. So yes, not close to making it a 5-touchdown game. Caden Keith keeps, instead of pitching to Isaiah Champagne, Southwest Legacy for the most part staying home. Some guys went with Champagne, some guys though able to get to Keith, and so it brings up 4th and 2, and knowing Coach Nick Rogers, this one a no-brainer.
You got to go for it.
Yeah.
You absolutely have to go for it. Pieper picked as one of the favorites to come out of this region to make it to the state semifinals. Not necessarily to win state, but to win the region. 3 out of 6 of the Dave Campbell's Texas high school football writers picked them to win this region. So you got to make a statement right here and score a touchdown.
On 4th and 2, Brady Hopper direct snap keeps, and Brady had a touchdown called back at the end of the first quarter. This one, no flags. Touchdown Hopper, his first of the ball game, comes from 12 yards away, and a 34-0 lead with the extra point to come.
There's a guy who's standing right outside the press box, and as soon as Brady Hopper ran into the end zone, I looked to him and he just shrugged. There's nobody around him. He was watching the action, and he just shrugged. I think he just described how we're all feeling, where you see Brady Hopper march his way into the end zone, and it's just, nah, yeah, that checks out. That feels about par for the course.
Logan Lopez with the extra point. Now we just came back from break here to start the second quarter, so let's keep it right here as Pieper just continues the offensive onslaught. And you have to credit special teams too, because they had back-to-back onside kicks. But wrapping up for the series for Hopper, he's a young man who, for the regular season, rushed for 553 yards, scored 9 touchdowns, got the ball 92 times via handoff or pitch backward during the regular season, 6 yards every time he touched it via the ground. And so, along with John Hamilton, not so much a 1-2 punch because it's hard to tell who's 1 and who's 2, so kind of a 1A and a 1B, if you will, although they use them. Does Pieper in a number of different ways. John Hamilton, a guy that they'll often throw it to. Hopper, more in between the tackles, but each can do a little bit of everything. As Daniel Miranda kicks us off here with his Warriors up now by 5 touchdowns. Kick fielded at the 5, across the 15, coming left across the 20. A good return, run out of bounds at right around the 25-yard line. And so, courtesy of the Joel Montes kick return, Titans will have it outside of their own 30, I believe. They might give him the actual 30. We'll see where they spot the football.
And it looks like James Ross isn't coming back out again.
And there's as you mentioned that, Noah, there's a penalty on Legacy, and so that kickoff return by Montes wiped away, at least a significant portion of it because of holding. And yes, to your point, no, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yes, you were saying how Ross still not on the field.
Still not on the field. And then we got a little QB mojo switch. We got Rodriguez coming, Alejandro Rodriguez, the junior, part of the QB carousel they got going on over for the Titans. No James Ross, no Campa in. I mean, this is bad news bears for the Titans so far.
Well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's Aiden Garcia at quarterback. Just took the snap. Now, they handed, as Storm Michael Bus made the stop, he handed it off, but it was Aiden Garcia. Now, Aiden, as you mentioned, Noah, kind of a quarterback carousel. Aiden, for the regular season, 32 of 50 for the year, 423 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And another switch at quarterback. No, it's Garcia. Give right side. And again, it's the young man who was the featured back on the previous possession, Isaiah Labra.
You see James Ross, you can't see it, we can barely see it. Over on the far side, just popped a squat on the medical table. Doesn't look like he's coming back anytime soon.
So he's being tended to there on the sideline. Meanwhile, 3rd and 8, and Southwest Legacy trying to stay on the field offensively. Garcia, Aiden rolling to his right, has to get rid of it. Incomplete. Trying to go in the direction of Isaiah Lavra, but unable to get it there because of the pressure, and so they'll have to punt it away here on 4th and 8 from their own 15.
Little mayhem from Caleb Gale. 2 forced fumbles on the year. He's got a sack so far and almost had another. If Garcia hadn't gotten rid of it as he was falling to the ground, Gale would have gotten his 2.0 in playoff game number 1.
First offensive series of this ball game for the Titans. Gave it to James Ross. As Noah mentioned, a D1 recruit. That punt nearly blocked. I don't know how he got it away, but he did, and then takes a very kind Titan bounce. And then comes back the other way at right around the 40. That's where Gano Esquivel will down it. But following those 9 straight plays in which James Ross got them from right around their own 25 down to the Pieper 20, essentially accounted for approximately 80 yards by himself on 9 straight plays. He exited the game at that point. The Titans then suffered a couple of delay of game penalties, and this game has completely shifted since then.
And it's just tough when you got your main guy out and you don't have anybody else to turn to. That's not a knock on the rest of the team. That's just how prolific James Ross is, that he literally puts the team on his back.
Carter Norsworthy in at quarterback for Pieper. Hamilton gets the carry. We've got 9.5 minutes to go in the second quarter, and Piper's got its second string quarterback in. No, it's still 9. I thought for a second that was 5. Never mind.
We talked about this a few weeks ago.
My eyes are terrible.
I was about to give you a break.
I was gonna say I thought that's 5 handing off, and he looked like Carter Noseworthy's body. My mind was playing tricks on me. But here's Hamilton again, right side. You were saying though, Noah?
We talked about this a few weeks ago, where the lighting on the field, no bueno. Not good. For you guys at home, it's probably wonderful. I'm sure you can see great. For us up here in the booth, weird glare, hard to see, and it's a bummer for the Glasses crew.
Well, I appreciate you, Noah, but I'm just going to take total responsibility on that one because I know better. Well, it seemed like it was Carter Noseworthy's body shape, but I think I was psyching myself out. Keith keeps. Gets to the 45 and picks up the first down for Pieper.
To give Caden Keith credit, he really is trying to get other guys involved in the passing game. Isaiah Champagne has gotten the most attention, but for the most part, it's not because Isaiah Champagne is the only one is not because Caden Keith's just throwing him the ball. It's just because he's the only one who's open. He was looking for Ethan Palmer on the left side, running a go route, one-on-one. Great coverage by the DB Martinez, and Keith forced to run it, pick up a few yards, but Caden Keith trying to get a lot of people involved in the passing game.
Hamilton in motion, gets the carry once he settled into the backfield and the ball was snapped. Picks up 9 to the Titan 36.
John Hamilton, 11 touchdowns on the season, rushing touchdowns. And then he's got those 3 passing touchdowns, which he's got 1 in this game, not to mention a machine on the Pieper Warriors offense, who churns out, we talked about earlier, at least 6 yards per carry.
Just a yard shy of 500 rushing for the regular season at 499. There's Ethan Palmer. His first catch of the ball game down to the 22 for the Warriors.
The dangerous part about the Warriors is how many offense, the 13th guy they have on the field. That's the dangerous part, is that you have Ethan Palmer, who can run a little slant, get in front of the linebackers, get behind the linebackers, get in front of the secondary. You've got Champagne who can cut it up. Then you got Grindstaff who can do whatever he wants to. There's just so many options.
Keith, Grindstaff, touchdown for Andrew.
Talk about Grindstaff doing whatever he wants to. Touchdown, Andrew Grindstaff. Andrew Grindstaff, 4 touchdowns on the season, his 5th tonight. Just unreal display of Texas high school football offensive performance for Nick Rogers and the Pieper Warriors.
Daniel Miranda on for his 6th extra point. Following Caden Keith's 4th touchdown pass of the first half, he's also run for 1. 42-0, we're back after this on the Warriors Network. Pieper taking care of Southwest Legacy in this first round high school football playoff matchup.
When I first started getting into picking my classes, I knew I wanted to do something where I could work with my hands. So I started that at a young age, working with my dad in his shop. As I kept going into shop, I started learning more and more about self-discipline, thinking about what I'm doing as I'm doing it. It's a great life skill to have. After I graduate, I'm going to use everything I have learned in the shop class, as well as FFA in a whole, to continue my career in welding. I found my people, my family, and what I enjoyed doing, and it set me up for my life to figure out the correct life plan for me and what I wanted to do.
High school football right here on the Warriors Network. We thank you so much for joining Noah Torr alongside Hector Ledesma as the Warriors have jumped out to a 42-0 lead. It was 28-0 after the first quarter. And here inside of the first 5 minutes of quarter number 2, the Warriors have added 2 more touchdowns. Gano Esquivel, the kickoff return for a Southwest Legacy team that is playing without their stud running back, James Ross. Ross, a D1 recruit, got the ball on the first 9 plays from scrimmage for the Titans, and then since then has not returned to the ball game. Noah mentioning moments ago that he was receiving some attention there on the medical table, and so we wish him the absolute best as his Legacy teammates now find themselves in a big hole here, down 6 touchdowns with 7:04 remaining in the first half. Nothing there. Nice defensive play for Nino Spina.
Huge get for Spina. He's got 4 tackles for loss this season, and that was close. It was right at the line of scrimmage. You can't quite give it to him, but he broke through that offensive line, disrupted any sort of attempt at an offensive play for the Titans.
Well, you look at the way this ball game's unfolded. You lose James Ross. You don't recover 2 onside kicks consecutively. Pass complete out to Esquivel. Cano tackled out of bounds.
And in that situation where you two delay a game penalties, 2 onside kicks you don't recover, you can't come back from that.
Right.
Especially when your starting running back gets removed from the game, you just cannot come back from that. And like you mentioned earlier, to your point earlier, head coach Nick Rogers, his offense is so prolific and his defense is so stout, he can get out there, score a bunch of points, and then just ride the wave.
Yeah. It's almost like an Aiden Garcia deep, caught but by Pieper. What an interception over the shoulder by Brady Ginley. And Ginley gives Pieper the ball back.
Oh, Brady Ginley. I mean, what a beautiful route by Brady Ginley. He ran that route perfectly. And for Brady Ginley, this season, he has got his first INT. Shout out, Brady Ginley, stepping in. And he's not a normal starter for the Pieper Warriors, so you can even see head coach Nick Rogers starting to swap out some of those white hats that he's got for some of those other guys to get him more playing time.
They're at their own 42 to start. Keith shotgun. Fakes to give to Hopper, looking left. Had Isaiah Champagne down the sideline, decided not to take the chance. Ethan Palmer across. Ethan doing a fantastic job of getting that foot in out of bounds on that drag route and a first down for the Warriors.
Talk about Ethan Palmer getting his foot in. Let's talk about Caden Keith trying to embody Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
With a little cross-body throw. That was ridiculous.
Well, it's going to be for not there. Penalty on the Warriors, so they're coming back. But, yes, fantastic play on both ends, both for Keith and for Palmer.
You got to ruin the moment.
Yeah, I know.
You got to ruin the moment. Not you ethereally, you know.
The royal you.
Yeah, yous guys.
Yeah, continuing your point, Noah, and off of what I mentioned earlier in the ballgame and the absolute offensive onslaught, it's like they're playing basketball. When you go on a huge run, and before you know it, you've been hit by a 20-0 run. Brady Hopper here in the flat breaks a tackle, across the 45 toward midfield. I think that's where they'll spot it. His helmet comes off, so he picks up 11 on 1st and 13. But if you're the opposing team, before you know it, you've been hit by a couple of three-pointers, some dunks in transition. You've turned it over yourself a couple of times, and you look up, and it's early in the game, and you're already down by 24 points. And you spend the entire rest of the game fighting your way back and digging out of that hole. That's what it's like for an opponent facing these Warriors. Hamilton up the middle, first down to right around the 41 of the Titans.
And then to keep going with the basketball analogy, in that moment where you have a team that you're playing against, they go on a huge run. Your coach looks at you, he says, hey, quick 2 and a T. Like, you just go down, get a bucket, call a timeout. That means get some sort of momentum just to get some breathing room. The football equivalent is like going and getting a field goal. Titans have yet to even produce something like that.
Keith has Ethan Palmer open, 41-yard touchdown and a 5th touchdown pass for Caden Keith, the first of the night for Ethan Palmer.
Who's in control? Who's playing the video game right now? Because they are crushing it, and I want them on my esports team. This is unreal. Ethan Palmer, just a nice little flag route over to the end zone. Nobody to be found right around him. Titans, DBs, nowhere to be found. Busted coverage time and time again for Legacy.
Andrew Grindstaff to hold, Logan Lopez to kick, 49-0 with 4:28 to go before the intermission. Pieper taking care of business on this first-round high school football playoff night right here on the Pieper High School campus. We're back after this on the Warriors Network.
To the ends of the earth I will. I'll follow you where the horizon meets the sunrise, if that's just what you choose to do. If you choose to love me, if you choose to leave.
Well, they've been impressive all season long. The Pieper Warriors, a perfect 10-0. That includes a 7-0 mark in district play, in a district that featured Smithson Valley, New Braunfels, Seguin, those the other playoff teams, alongside Bernie Champion, Wagner, Victoria East, and MacArthur out of San Antonio. And after running through those opponents, plus Johnson out of San Antonio, Bernie, as well as a good Davenport squad. Kickoff there, fielded it right around the 12. It'll start at the 15, will be the next possession for the Titans following the kick return by Cano Esquivel. Following that kind of a regular season, Pieper turning it up even more so here in the first half of the first round of the playoffs.
Even more so. That's a great way to phrase it. Just even more so. Walking into this, you could have taken your foot off the gas a little bit. All right, first round, this is not a team that's probably going to give us a ton of competition, but at least they're going to give us everything they have, and this is going to be a little tough. Nope. Pieper just decided to keep their foot right on the gas, rev it to a 7, and keep it rolling.
And it's interesting because if you're Southwest Legacy, you're thinking, well, on our end, we don't have James Ross. It could be a bit of a different story. And the only way in that could translate to be true, I think, is if every single time Legacy touched the ball, they held onto it for 6-7 minutes because Ross was going to be so effective. But absent of that and absent of no mistakes, what we've seen offensively for Pieper eventually was going to win the day. And I go back to a game that we did as a quarterback keep here on the right side. And I believe that's Alex Rodriguez. I believe that's another quarterback in the ballgame. I think you mentioned his name earlier, Noah. Alex now in the ballgame. For the season, he was 13 of 14, a couple of touchdown passes and throwing for 180 yards. So along with Isaiah Campa and Ed Garcia, Alex Rodriguez getting some snaps, and he's in the ballgame now. Finishing up a thought here, Noah, is in a game that we did earlier in the season in which Pieper was able to beat a New Braunfels team that also came into that game at the time undefeated in district play, and it was their opportunity to show Pieper and the rest of the district and, frankly, the rest of the area that they were here to stay and compete as Rodriguez goes around right side and a first down for Legacy. He's just run out of bounds right around 28. In that game, Pieper ends up winning it 49-35, but at the half, they're tied. But they're tied despite the fact that the Warriors had turned it over 4 times.
Yeah.
And, to a certain point, the offense just becomes so overwhelming, so efficient, and so prolific that they eventually get you.
And that's so hard. Like, how do you overcome that other than you just have to play good defense and you have to keep up with them? The pace with which the Warriors score points, nobody's able to keep up with.
Rodriguez shotgun, ball at the 17. Hand right side, a couple. As the Titans continue a drive that sees them pick up a first down for the first time since their opening drive. Not coincidentally, the last time that James Ross was in the ballgame for them, their D1 recruit at running back.
And it looks like head coach Robert Bruce is potentially switching to the similar game plan that he probably had when James Ross was in the running back for the Titans, where it was pound the ball, run the ball, keep the ball away from the offense, and just get some first downs. Rodriguez is their running quarterback, and so it looks like they're trying to keep that going with him in.
There's Alex Rodriguez going right side. Couple. It'll be third down, and I think they're going to spot at the 31. That's exactly where they spot it. 3rd and 5. They need to get to the, 3rd and 6. They need to get to the 37.
And the tough part, even if you get this first down, if you're the Titans, you get this first down, you've still got 66 yards to go, 67 yards. You got 67 yards to go.
Alex Rodriguez keeps. I think he got it. Yep. They're going to give it to him. 1 yard past the 37. He needed 6. He got 7 yards.
Just ground and pound. That offense just needs to keep moving. You got to find some other options other than your guy, Rodriguez. You got to find somebody else other than him. But right now, he's moving the football. He's doing something that hasn't happened since James Ross was in the football game.
Well, for his part, Alex Rodriguez, a young man, we talked about his passing stats. On the ground, he also proved Legacy's second leading rusher behind Ross. Now, there's a big gap. Ross, as mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he rushed for 1,300 yards. Alex Rodriguez, 186, 4.7 every time he touched the ball, 39 carries, scored 3 times. But even though there's that gap below Alex Rodriguez, no one else rushed for more than 62 yards, and that's the quarterback Isaiah Campa. Again, here's Rodriguez showing off those feet across midfield. Actually, not across it, but to midfield. Another first down for the Titans, though.
And a huge tackle from number 6, Grant Oling, who had an INT last time. He's got 3 interceptions on the season. And the tough part, the difference between Rodriguez and Ross, different runners. Ross is power. Ross is going to pound that football. Rodriguez, he's crafty, he's shifty, but you also saw how easily he almost flung to the ground by Grant Oling.
5 seconds on the game clock when that ball was snapped. And that is how the first half comes to an end. All Pieper. The Warriors up 28-0 after the first quarter. They add 21 more in quarter number 2. A team that many think has state written all over it, doing absolutely nothing to dispel that belief. We're back after this with a halftime show on the Warriors Network. Pieper 49, Southwest Legacy 0, first round high school football playoffs in 5A Division I. We're back after this.
Tip-off November 4th. All 20 elementaries in Comal ISD are reading to the Final Four.
All reading counts in and outside of school in any format.
Third graders log 25 minutes or more a night.
Record your minutes using the method your librarian shared with you.
The qualifying round ends December 15th. Let's log those minutes so we can make it to the next round. Let's go!
Let's go on the whistle.
They know this is about reading, right?
I got next.
Happy Veterans Day. This is the day set aside to thank and honor all those who have served honorably in the United States military, both at wartime and in peace. At Comal ISD, we take this to heart. We say thank you in a variety of ways. Our campuses open their doors to local veterans, whether they are family members or they reside in our community. Our veterans are greeted with parades, flags, handwritten cards, and special performances by our student choirs, JROTC cadets, and more. It is an honor to shake their hands and see them stand with pride as their military branch song is played. Beyond the celebrations, we want our veterans to know how much we appreciate not only their sacrifice, but the sacrifice their family has made in order for them to serve. Comal ISD is honored to have more than 1,500 military-connected families that we serve every day. If you are a veteran, thank you for your sacrifice, for your valor, for protecting us, and for defending our rights. Your courage, strength, and dedication to keeping us safe will never be forgotten.
I am actually going to Abilene Christian University and I will be minoring in entrepreneurship. I joined Incubator my junior year of high school, and my sophomore year of high school I joined fashion design. Through my CTE program, I've been able to learn great qualities through just learning how to start my own business, leadership skills, and also with just communications in general. I've been able to learn qualities such as public speaking and other things.
After I graduate, I'm going to use everything I have learned in the shop class, as well as FFA in a whole, to continue my career in welding. I found my people, my family, and what I enjoyed doing, and it set me up for my life to figure out the correct life plan for me and what I wanted to do.
So I started taking robotics and STEM classes when I was in the 4th grade, along with GT classes. And as I got further into high school, I not only pursued GT, but engineering, robotics, all these STEM pathways that really strengthened who I am. So I either consider pursuing teaching or STEM, specifically biomedical engineering. And along with robotics class, I also do engineering. And I think it'll really benefit my future regardless of which path I decide to take.
From at the beginning to where they didn't want to do much hands-on work at all, and now they just dive in and they do everything because they weren't familiar with it at the beginning. And now, as they get more familiar with it, they want to tackle bigger and better things. I think that's a big part of CTE. It gives people the confidence to be able to move on to that next step in life.
I believe that CTE has a lot of opportunities that will help you in the real world, that will give you a real feel of how you can pursue a future in those careers.
Today, we are recognizing our unsung heroes, our custodial and maintenance workers. Our custodians are the people who turn the lights on, clean throughout the day, and have facilities ready for the next morning. District-wide, they're responsible for cleaning 5.1 million square feet of building space. Our maintenance workers specialize in areas including plumbing, electric, HVAC, carpentry, welding, landscaping, and more. They are on call in case of an emergency, and many times they start their day with a list of repairs in hand. They travel throughout our 589 square miles, and they complete between 10,000 to 12,000 work orders every year. I personally want to say thank you to each of these unsung heroes, and I encourage you to take some time to do the same. Truly, together, we are growing greatness. Happy Veterans Day. This is the day set aside to thank and honor all those who have served honorably in the United States military, both at wartime and in peace. At Comal ISD, we take this to heart. We say thank you in a variety of ways. Our campuses open their doors to local veterans, whether they are family members or they reside in our community. Our veterans are greeted with parades, flags, handwritten cards, and special performances by our student choirs, JROTC cadets, and more. It is an honor to shake their hands and see them stand with pride as their military branch song is played. Beyond the celebrations, we want our veterans to know how much we appreciate not only their sacrifice, but the sacrifice their family has made in order for them to serve. Comal ISD is honored to have more than 1,500 military-connected families that we serve every day. If you are a veteran, thank you for your sacrifice, for your valor, for protecting us, and for defending our rights. Your courage, strength, and dedication to keeping us safe will never be forgotten.
Thank you to all of the cafeteria workers for making all of the food for all of us. I love that they always have a smile on their face and they're always very nice.
Thank you so much for showing up early and making fabulous breakfast and then moving on to yummy lunch. You are doing all the work to send our kids out on their day full and ready to learn.
Thank you so much to all of our cafeteria staff. We truly appreciate all your hard work to make us meals and get us through our days at school.
Thank you so much for being an important part of our school community. Your efforts to keep our kids happy and healthy and fed day in and day out is truly commendable.
We want to say thank you to some of the hardest working people in the district. Happy School Lunch Appreciation Week to all of you. Thank you for your patience, your kindness, and your love.
Thank you so much for just bringing us food and just keeping us fed and healthy throughout the school year. Even when it may be hard, you always come through.
I want to take a moment to thank each and every one of our cafeteria workers. You work tirelessly to provide the nutrition our students need to thrive each and every day in all of our classrooms.
I just want to say thank you to all the cafeteria members that are waking up every morning to serve us food. I'm very grateful for them.
We appreciate all that you do for our students, making sure that they have nutritious lunches and breakfasts every day to make sure that they grow up to be healthy adults.
From joining PTA to dressing up during holidays and knowing what choice kids like is just one of the many things that our cafeteria crew does.
Thank you for all the cafeteria workers who provide healthy breakfasts and yummy lunches for all the students around the world, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you to each and every one of you who feed our students every day.
My own grandmother did the same job in a cafeteria for many years. So I appreciate you, I thank you, we love you.
When I first started getting into picking my classes, I knew I wanted to do something where I could work with my hands. So I started that at a young age, working with my dad in his shop. As I kept going into shop, I started learning more and more about self-discipline, thinking about what I'm doing as I'm doing it. It's a great life skill to have. After I graduate, I'm going to use everything I have learned in the shop class, as well as FFA in a whole, to continue my career in welding. I found my people, my family, and what I enjoyed doing, and it set me up for my life to figure out the correct life plan for me and what I wanted to do.
Tip-off November 4th. All 20 elementaries in Comau ISD are reading to the Final Four. All reading counts in and outside of school in any format.
Third graders log 25 minutes or more a night.
Record your minutes using the method your librarian shared with you.
The qualifying round ends December 15th. Let's log those minutes so we can make it to the next round. Let's go!
Let's go on the whistle.
They know this is about reading, right?
I got next.
I am actually going to Abilene Christian University and I will be minoring in entrepreneurship. I joined Incubator my junior year of high school, and my sophomore year of high school I joined fashion design. Through my CTE program I've been able to learn great qualities through just learning how to start my own business, leadership skills, and also with just communications in general. I've been able to learn qualities such as
Dancer of the Week is Annabella Ali. Spirit Girl of the Week is Leon Hernandez. Today they'll be performing a streamer jazz to Shut Up and Dance. direction of Susie Mansfield with assistance by Cheyenne Barnes. Music for the Legends and Legacies Dance Team was provided by your 2024 Bands of America Regional Finalists, U.S. Bands Hill Country Regional Finalists, and yes, two-time consecutive UIL marching competitors, your Pieper High School Band of Warriors. And now, the baddest band in the land is ready to kick things up a notch with the Lady Gaga classic hit, Born This Way. The Band of Warriors is brought to you by a team of incredible community sponsors. This year, we're proud to thank our gold-level corporate sponsors, Canyon Springs Family Dental, Tiger Smiles Family Dentistry, Kathleen Glantz from State Farm Insurance, San Antonio Eye Center, and San Martin Orthodontics. We'd also like to thank our platinum-level sponsors, 7-to-7 Dental.
I am actually going to Abilene Christian University and I will be minoring in entrepreneurship. I joined Incubator my junior year of high school, and my sophomore year of high school I joined fashion design. Through my CTE program, I've been able to learn great qualities through just learning how to start my own business, leadership skills, and also with just communications in general. I've been able to learn qualities such as public speaking and other things. After I graduate, I'm going to use everything I have learned in the shop class as well as FFA in a whole to continue my career in welding. I found my people, my family, and what I enjoyed doing, and it set me up for my life to figure out the correct life plan for me and what I wanted to do.
So I started taking robotics and STEM classes when I was in the 4th grade, along with GT classes. And as I got further into high school, I not only pursued GT, but engineering, robotics, all these STEM pathways that really strengthened who I am. So I either consider pursuing teaching or STEM, specifically biomedical engineering. And along with robotics class, I also do engineering. And I think it'll really benefit my future regardless of which path I decide to take.
From at the beginning to where they didn't want to do much hands-on work at all, and now they just dive in and they do everything because they weren't familiar with it at the beginning. And now, as they get more familiar with it, they want to tackle bigger and better things. I think that's a big part of CTE. It gives people the confidence to be able to move on to that next step in life.
I believe that CTE has a lot of opportunities that will help you in the real world, that will give you a real feel of how you can pursue a future in those careers.
Today, we are recognizing our unsung heroes, our custodial and maintenance workers. Our custodians are the people who turn the lights on, clean throughout the day, and have facilities ready for the next morning. District-wide, they're responsible for cleaning 5.1 million square feet of building space. Our maintenance workers specialize in areas including plumbing, electric, HVAC, carpentry, welding, landscaping, and more. They are on call in case of an emergency, and many times they start their day with a list of repairs in hand. They travel throughout our 589 square miles, and they complete between 10,000 to 12,000 work orders every year. I personally want to say thank you to each of these unsung heroes, and I encourage you to take some time to do the same. Truly, together, we are growing greatness. Happy Veterans Day. This is the day set aside to thank and honor all those who have served honorably in the United States military, both at wartime and in peace. At Comal ISD, we take this to heart. We say thank you in a variety of ways. Our campuses open their doors to local veterans, whether they are family members or they reside in our community. Our veterans are greeted with parades, flags, handwritten cards, and special performances by our student choirs, JROTC cadets, and more. It is an honor to shake their hands and see them stand with pride as their military branch song is played. Beyond the celebrations, we want our veterans to know how much we appreciate not only their sacrifice, but the sacrifice their family has made in order for them to serve. Comal ISD is honored to have more than 1,500 military-connected families that we serve every day. If you are a veteran, thank you for your sacrifice, for your valor, for protecting us, and for defending our rights. Your courage, strength, and dedication to keeping us safe will never be forgotten.
Thank you to all of the cafeteria workers for making all of the food for all of us. I love that they always have a smile on their face and they're always very nice.
Thank you so much for showing up early and making fabulous breakfast and then moving on to yummy lunch. You are doing all the work to send our kids out on their day full and ready to learn.
Thank you so much to all of our cafeteria staff. We truly appreciate all your hard work to make us meals and get us through our days at school.
Thank you so much for being an important part of our school community. Your efforts to keep our kids happy and healthy and fed day in and day out is truly commendable.
We want to say thank you to some of the hardest working people in the district. Happy School Lunch Appreciation Week to all of you. Thank you for your patience, your kindness, and your love.
Thank you so much for just bringing us food and just keeping us fed and healthy throughout the school year. Even when it may be hard, you always come through.
I want to take a moment to thank each and every one of our cafeteria workers. You work tirelessly to provide the nutrition our students need to thrive each and every day in all of our classrooms.
I just want to say thank you to all the cafeteria members that are waking up every morning to serve us food. I'm very grateful for them.
We appreciate all that you do for our students, making sure that they have nutritious lunches and breakfasts every day to make sure that they grow up to be healthy adults.
From joining PTA to dressing up during holidays and knowing what choice kids like is just one of the...
We're set for the beginning of the third quarter in just a little under a minute from right here on the Pieper High School campus on the Warriors Network. Hector Ledesma alongside Noah Torr. And Noah, as you break down a first half that saw Pieper score 28 in the first quarter, 21 in the second quarter, easy to say Pieper's really good, and Southwest Legacy's missing its best player out during that first possession. But if you go deeper, just another showing by these Warriors of how great they've been during the regular season, especially offensively.
Yeah, and I think you covered it. They are fantastic on offense. I think the score tonight, 49-0, is the football equivalent of what we're about to see later this evening when Mike Tyson takes on Logan Paul. That's literally what we're watching, is we're going to see a great football team, a great fighter, almost potentially a borderline historic run that this program is going on for their own reasons. This historic run, fourth season being a football program, and they are already potentially state-bound, and they are making a statement coming up against a team, not that they had no business being here, because James Ross, when he is on that football field, they are a completely different team. But without James Ross, they are also a team that looks like, man, it's just tough to put them in the same playing field as Pieper without their star running back.
You mentioned Pieper in year number 4 in 2021. They played an outlaw schedule, so not officially.
An outlaw schedule. That's fair.
Isn't it great?
That's fair.
It's called It's referred to as an outlaw schedule because it's not officially UIL sanctioned. In 2022, they won 2 games, 2-8. Last year, they went all the way to the regional final. So from 2 wins to within 2 wins of winning a state championship. And this year, a perfect regular season, on their way to an area round matchup with the winner between McAllen Memorial and Corpus Christi Flower Bluff, and we'll keep you updated on that game. That one also happening tonight. As Daniel Miranda kicks us off, Pieper getting the ball first, so Southwest Legacy will get the ball to begin the second half.
Uh-oh.
Trouble at the 11, and Gano just has to go out of bounds.
He had a Pieper defender just barreling down over the top of him. Couldn't do anything. That was number 20. That was Samuel Campos. He also earlier at the end of the first half got an absolute hammer on a kick return. And so I bet just what had happened. Number 2, Esquivel. He caught it and he was like, I'm not going to run it back. I'm just going to step out real quick.
Yeah, Gano Esquivel definitely playing it safe there. Titans start 1st and 10 at their own 12. First possession of quarter number 3. They had 3 quarterbacks play in the first half, and the most effective of the 3, Alex Rodriguez, in there to start this third quarter.
Going back to the original game plan, what they had with James Ross, which is run some more, keep running the football. And at the end of the first half, James Ross saw him on the track walking around, limping, looked like he was maybe trying to stretch out his leg, just shaking it off, but I don't think we're going to see him come back into this football game for sure, especially if he's not in right now.
Alex Rodriguez wears number 5. You see him taking a snap and running for the second straight play for the season. Also, the Titans' second leading rusher behind James Ross, who amassed 1,300 over the regular season. Rodriguez rushing for 186. Also a quarterback, as you see here, completing 13 of 14 passes, so the completion percentage off the charts at 93%. Threw for 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Pretty good quarterback rating, 158 in limited action through those 10 games of the regular season. Here's his first pass attempt. Or will he get it off? He does. Sideline. It's caught, but is it complete? It will stand as an actual completion. And on 3rd and 9, the Titans pick up 8. So 4th and 1 at the 21-yard line, and they're going.
Rodriguez had Thor Mickelbust barreling down on him. Somehow got it off. Now it's a Wildcat. Make it happen.
Rodriguez, direct snap, first down and more. Gets to the 25.
Excuse me, not Wildcat. Rodriguez was there. He was ready to take control of it.
Yeah.
He lined up like he was in Wildcat, though.
He does. And his body type looks like that of a running back. You know, kind of stereotype body types.
He for sure does.
You know,
especially, and we talked about it earlier. He is shifty. He's quick. He's swifty. DeAndre Swift out there making moves, not super heavy. That belongs to James Ross. But instead of having the dynamic duo, now it's just Rodriguez, and he's still making things happen.
Keeps the ball, comes around left. Listed as the 3rd-string quarterback, Isaiah Campa got the start. Aiden Garcia, the backup on the depth chart, also saw some action in that first half. As Noah mentioned in the first half, all 3 saw action during the course of the regular season. Now, in Aiden Rodriguez's case, maybe more mop-up action. He only attempted 14 passes, but it's tough to tell because they don't throw the ball a whole lot. James Ross, such a big part of their offense, that Isaiah Campa, who's got the majority of the stats at that signal caller position, had 71 pass attempts. You know, you average that out through 10 games, that's basically 7 passes per game. So, penalty marker.
Well, you compare that to Caden Keith, 257 passing attempts on the season. That's not even a comparison. That's one guy who plays all the time, throws the football majority of the time, to a guy who's in a quarterback carousel who throws the ball sometimes.
Exactly. And so, hence, you're seeing Alex Rodriguez get some time. Most effective with his legs. Man, it's when this Titan offense has been at its best. Their 2 best offensive showings were their first possession when James Ross got it on the first 9 plays before he went out, and their last possession in the first half when Alex Rodriguez got him going with a couple of positive rushes. Here's the reverse. Coming toward us is Gano Esquivel.
Huge hit by Jackson Hopper. Saw the end around, read it, ran up and bottled him up, and there was nowhere for Esquivel to go. Now you got 3rd and 10 when it looked like that was potentially going to be a big play. If you disregarded everything happening on the defense, you go, wow, there's actually potentially something that could happen here. And then Jackson Hopper blew it up. Nothing.
At the 25, 3rd and 10, they converted a 3rd and 9 moments ago. Rodriguez shotgun, wondering if this would be his second pass attempt on this drive. Nope, the hands. Actually, that was Aiden Rodriguez back in there at quarterback. He's number 4. Aiden Garcia was back in there at quarterback on a passing down, and he gave it to Isaiah Lavra, backup running back, who immediately when James Ross went out, got the bulk of the carries.
Leighton Springer. I mean, he moved up on the defense like he was about to bull rush. Sometimes you move up, and then you end up backing up. You stay in coverage. But he ran up, and then he stayed, and he blew right through the A-gap, that gap between the center and the guard on the right side. Absolutely nowhere to go for the running back.
Back to punt, standing at his own 7-yard line. That one, somehow, I think it was partially blocked. He He was able, to get it away down at the 40. And that's where Pieper will take over for its first touch of the third quarter.
You know the punt is a little bit tough if the first guy to get there is the punter. That's how you know.
Right.
That's how you know it's just a tough punt, which there was somebody who got on it. There were 4 Pieper Warriors in that backfield, and I had my hands up thinking, oh, this is for sure a block punt. Another special teams play by the Pieper Warriors. Somehow, Decimias Rodriguez got it off. I don't know how that football got in the air. That was wild.
Backup quarterback Carter Norsworthy in to start this half. He wears number 5, Brady Hopper, the give. Couple of moves behind the line of scrimmage before he gets to right around the 37. Make it 2nd and 7. I don't think I've pointed out yet the different helmets that Pieper's wearing tonight. Usually they wear gold. And you can see it on their sideline. Several of their JV players moved up, and now that the regular season has ended, are wearing those traditional gold helmets, but Pieper tonight in the special white helmets.
Got to do a little mojo switch in the playoffs. Got to just make it happen.
So far, so good. Norsworthy first pass attempt complete.
Norsworthy can also sling the football. He's a little bit more of a runner than Caden Keith is. You look at him, he's a little bit smaller. Caden Keith, 6'3", Norsworthy, not 6'3". And so he's going to run the football a little bit more. He's going to be a little bit similar to probably Alex Rodriguez on the Titans side of the football. But he can throw the football. Don't let his size show you that he can't throw the football, because he can. And then he used his feet like this.
Here he is. He dives, still hit, no penalty, following the completion to Richard Elizarde that gave Pieper this new set of downs. Following the run by Norsworthy, the ball now at the 24. 2nd and right around 6.
The only starters for the skill player position that are still in: Brady Hopper, Ethan Palmer. Evan Drake looks like he's also in there, but we got some backups starting to come in. When you're up 49-0, you got to get some garbage time in for your second string, even third string players.
You mentioned Hopper. Here he is. Pieper's leading rusher for the season, gets across the 20, so into the red zone. Hopper, 553 rushing yards in 2024. 9 touchdowns, 92 carries, 6 yard per carry average. And the featured back on this possession. Norsworthy with Hopper to his left, Evan Drake to his right. Carter looking to get out of trouble. Does momentarily. Still on his feet. With all of that, got near the line of scrimmage.
Somehow Norsworthy avoided a really bad sack and turned it into a, nah, that's a sack. It was almost a really bad sack where they moved him back to probably about the 25, and somehow he shaked, and he shooketh. I don't know. There's not another word you can throw in there. Somehow made it to the 20-yard line. So still in the red zone if you want to count it. Not a total loss, just like a kind of loss.
Meanwhile, the clock under 4.5, so good news for Pieper in that, you just want to get out of here. Get out of here healthy as Hopper falls down after he took the handoff. So the play blown dead back at the 23. Brings up 3rd and long.
You know what we might get? A field goal attempt. That could be. You gotta practice them now. Game time situation. Stress is a little bit lower. Let Daniel Miranda go in. You're not going to take a knee.
Yeah.
But, why not just run the football? This is not Nick Rogers style, by the way. I'm saying things that he's not going to do.
Right.
But, hypothetically, we could get a Daniel Miranda field goal.
Yeah.
Could be a big day.
Well, he doesn't like the punt, that's for sure. This is not a situation, no. It would be either 3 or go for it, if even that. Cash Lancaster, the intended receiver, a little low. So 4th and 14 at their own 24. Right, there's a penalty marker, so let's see what this is for.
I think Norsworthy might have ran in front of the line of scrimmage when he threw that football. I could be so wrong.
If so, that's a loss of down. Wait the official call. Nope, it's on Southwest Legacy.
I was so wrong. Norsworthy just had so much forward progression that I was like, surely he didn't just throw that in front.
They hit him after he released, and that's an automatic first down for the Warriors. now at the Legacy 12. Intended receiver moments ago was Cash Lancaster. How's this for efficiency? He caught 10 balls during the regular season, 5 of them for touchdowns.
Right. That's ridiculous. Talk about a fit. That's a red zone guy. That's who that is.
That's the old Buddy Ryan line on Chris Carter. All he does is catch touchdowns.
Come on.
That's why I cut him. Didn't make any sense. Norsworthy, pitch, tough one, but Brady Hopper able to bring it in. You know Hopper's going to go back to the huddle and say, hey, man, kind of a little risky on that one, leaving me out to dry a little bit, making me run and get it. You see the tucking now. Norsworthy's like, hey, sorry about that.
He's like, hey, that's on me. My bad. My bad. Hey, just in this moment, I interrupted your movie quote. My bad. That's on me. That's on me.
2nd down and 10. I think they're going to say maybe a smidge past the line of scrimmage. Don't know if it's enough to give them a yard. So 2nd and 10 again at the 12. Norsworthy in shotgun as we now go under 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Whistles. False start on Pieper.
If you're Pieper, you just want the football to keep moving because then you want the clock to keep running.
Yes.
Because then at that point, the score is 49-0. I don't think it's going to change a ton. I think the Titans might get a touchdown before the end of the game, and it might be 49-0. And the Warriors also might get another touchdown. But for both of these teams, I think you just want the clock to keep going. I think you just want it to tick away.
Well, and that might be the biggest reason Brady Hopper's still in there as Norsworthy takes a snap on 2nd and 15 at the 16. Complete. That's Hopper across the 15. Now, in watching Pieper throughout the season, Samuel Campos gets a lot of carries in a backup role once they're in comfortable mode, and John Hamilton and Brady Hopper have both exited. So I think right now, Coach Nick Rogers saying if we keep Brady in there now, a couple carries, we have the potential to milk the clock, and that's exactly what he's doing. Norsworthy keeps on the RPO. Near first down yardage on 3rd and 9. They can get a first down without getting a touchdown with that first down marker at the 2, and he got right near it. So I don't know if this is going to be, it's going to be 4th and inches at the 2-yard line.
Tush push. That's always the call here. It's not always. If you're an Eagles fan, that's the call, but under center doesn't happen in high school football.
Norsworthy movement. So this will now become 4th and 6. Evan Drake leaving before the snap.
Carter Norsworthy on that run just showed how quick he is, that he can just blow right through any hole that you give him. I've talked about how fast Isaiah Champagne is, 4.4340. Average NFL time, 4.48. I want to know what Carter Norsworthy's 40 time is. That was quick. He was moving.
4th and 6 at the 7. They can get a first down. Norsworthy keeps, goes around left, and Norsworthy's got the end zone. His 4th rushing touchdown of 2024 when you take his 3 into account from the regular season. Carter, 143 yards rushing for the year, 14.3 average. Only needed 7 on that one, about half his average. He got him, and Pieper has a 55-0 lead.
That's just mean. He was running off on the left side, had one defender that he had to beat, Daniel Martinez, and he was thinking he was going outside, juked inside, cut right, scored the tutty, and Martinez ended up on his back, on his bottom.
Norsworthy scoring from 7 yards away, and right after, Logan Lopez makes it 56-0. We're back after this for what we believe is the end of the third quarter right here on the Warriors Network.
To the ends of the earth I will. I'll follow you where the horizon meets the sunrise, if that's just what you choose to do. If you choose to love me, if you choose to leave.
Warriors Network, all Pieper tonight. First round 5A Division I playoff matchup. 56-0 following their first touchdown of the third quarter. Backup quarterback Carter Norsworthy taking the reins and leading the Warriors down the field after Caden Keith accounted for 5 touchdowns, 6 in the first half, 5 passing, 1 rushing. Brady Hopper getting the other touchdown in the first 24 minutes via a rush. And then Carter Norsworthy, the backup QB, making it 56-0 just moments ago. The touchback means that the Titans will start 1st and 10 at their own 25.
Now the Titans coming out. You're down. There's not even worth painting a picture. You're down 56-0. You just run the football. You try to get that quick 2 and a T. You go down, maybe kick a field goal, maybe score a touchdown. You just try to get some momentum, maybe points on the board. But if nothing else, you walk away from this game knowing that you could have done so much better had the cards been dealt a little bit differently. As holy cow, Leighton Springer, 2 tackles for loss.
Alex Rodriguez getting the brunt of that hit there.
Excuse me, not a tackle for loss, but he was way behind his forward progression.
Yeah,
but he got it at least.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. No, I was going to say I think they only gave him a yard, so kind of the same difference. 2nd and 9 as the game clock goes under 38 seconds. Now, because of the play clock, they do have to snap it, and this should be here the last play of the third quarter. Again, Alex Rodriguez, third-string quarterback in. The give to the young man who's been pressed into that running back spot, Isaiah Lavera, goes around right. Now that is a loss. I think they'll say 3 yards is the amount of yards on the setback. It'll bring up 3rd and long once again for the Titan offense. It's had a rough go of it tonight, especially without their best player, James Ross, following that first possession. That's how the third quarter comes to an end. We're back with the fourth. Pieper on its way to a second-round destination here in the high school football playoffs all over Southwest Legacy, 56-0 right here on the Warriors Network.
Tip-off November 4th. All 20 elementaries in Commonwealth ISD are reading to the Final Four.
All reading counts in and outside of school in any format.
3rd graders log 25 minutes or more a night.
Record your minutes using the method your librarian shared with you.
The qualifying round ends December 15th. Let's log those minutes so we can make it to the next round. Let's go!
Let's go on the whistle.
They know this is about reading, right? I got next.
Start of the fourth quarter, Pieper High School. Warriors Network, the home team, up 56-0. Starting quarterback back in there on a throwing down. Had Cano Esquivel open, but Isaiah Campa unable to connect, and so it brings up 4th and 8 at their own 27-yard line.
Man, that was the first sign of life post James Ross for that Titans offense, where you've got Campa rolling out to his left. You've got the man, Esquivel, rolling out on a flag route. And then Campa just barely overthrew him. Esquivel couldn't get there. And now you're back to the familiar situation where you are punting the football back to the Warriors.
See a couple of Pieper returners standing at their own 40-yard line. There's the punt. It's away. Low one by Desmius Rodriguez. Fair catch by Andrew Grindstaff at the 43.
I want everyone to know the play clock hit 0 and was at 0 for about 3 seconds. And there was no delay of game call. So I think the refs
I think
also want to go home.
I was going to say.
I think they want to go.
I think they not only have an eye on the game clock, I think they have an eye on the actual clock as well.
That was unreal. I mean, it sat at 0 for a long time.
Carter Norsworthy, shotgun, trips to his right side, twins to this side. Norsworthy keeps, then throws, incomplete. Looking in the direction of Johnny Castro, senior receiver.
Just a little fake handoff. Johnny Castro on an out route. Just easy pass, went right through his hands. I bet Norsworthy put a lot of mustard on that football was what it looked like. It looked like it slid right through his hands. I don't know if Castro was ready for the heat that he put on that one.
Well, this Warrior team's so experienced that several seniors are backups for him as well. Long pass.
Ooh.
This one complete. Cash Lancaster down that far sideline from the 43 on their side of the field to now the 23-yard line.
You're joking. You have got to be kidding me. Norsworthy ripped that thing over to Cash Lancaster on a go route. One-on-one coverage. He bobbled the football, too. He got those dad reflexes where he saw it all the way down, grabbed hold of it, made it his baby, and got the first down.
Oh, a third straight passing play. This one, Elizalde again, still on his feet, and a touchdown. Richie Elizalde, who was targeted a little while ago, coming up with the catch, and a young man who caught 2 passes during the regular season, gets his first touchdown of 2024.
Richie, the man, got me tripping and stumbling as I'm tripping over my words on the way to the end zone. Little 360 doopsie-doo all the way around. Scored a tutty, and the Warriors broaching 60 on top of the Titans. A shutout in Warrior Coliseum.
Daniel Miranda on to make it 63-0. And he does just that. 11-12 remaining here in the ballgame. Let's step aside when we come back. Southwest Legacy back on offense, all Warriors, and we'll get you an update on the game that features the 2 teams they're going to play next week. We're back after this. Warriors Network, Pieper kicking off following a 9th touchdown of the night in this first round by district playoff game against Southwest Legacy. Titans take over at their own 25. So the winner of this game, per the bracket in Division 1 5A, slated to play the winner between McAllen Memorial and Corpus Christi Flower Bluff. And it's Flower Bluff who leads it 28-10. Late in the third quarter, about 4 minutes to go at last check, maybe a little bit less than that now. So anyways, like I said, late in the third, and at the moment, Flower Bluff a 28-10 lead on McAllen Memorial.
Flower Bluff was picked by 2 out of the 3 left that didn't pick Pieper out of the Dave Campbell's Texas High School football. It's not a network. It's not a magazine. The media company. David, we all know what it is. If you're watching this, you know what it is. That's not foreign. Corpus Christi, Flower Bluff, 2 out of the 6 picked them. So next week, assuming that Flower Bluff holds on, that could be one of the toughest teams that Piper's faced this season outside of Smithson Valley. Smithson Valley, that game was tough, and Piper somehow walked away with a 3-point win. Next week, that is going to be one of their tougher matchups if they do indeed play Flower Bluff.
On the field, Isaiah Lavra, his second straight carry. He's picked up right around 8 yards on those first two, so it leaves 3rd and 2 for the Titans at their own 33 to give this time to Alex Rodriguez back in running back position as the Titans continue to rotate quarterbacks. Aiden Garcia playing the position on that play. First down by Alex Rodriguez, so ball now at the 35. Mentioning that game, Noah, in which Pieper was able to beat Smithson Valley, they got the Rangers 39-36 right here at the Warrior Coliseum. Wonderful game that Pieper led for the better part of the first 3 quarters before Smithson Valley rallied to take a late lead, and then it was Pieper who showed their mettle. They had really not yet been tested at that point, but they showed that they could win not only the blowouts and not only get out and stay on top of you in ball games, but also could battle back, and they walked away with a 39-36 victory against the Rangers back on September 27th.
Truly, some of the biggest tests for Pieper have been that game against Bernie. That was opening game, so you can say whatever you want to say about an opening game matchup. But against Bernie, 38-36. Against Johnson, 38-24. That game was close for a little bit. Pieper ended up pulling away. You mentioned Smithson Valley, 39-36. And then the New Braunfels game, 49-35, which was close in the first half. And then Pieper decided to score 3 touchdowns in the third quarter and just absolutely obliterate the Unicorns. And then they rolled with 75, 49, 69 points.
3rd and 1, Alex Rodriguez, again back at running back with Aiden Garcia and their quarterback now. Pick up the first down. He needed a yard. I think he got 1.5 yards, so the series continues at the 46. All excellent points, Noah. I would add the game against Wagner. Interesting in the way that game played out. Wagner jumped on top of the Warriors 14-0 and then again 21-7. From that point on, Pieper scored the next 4 touchdowns of that ball game to close things out and finish with a 35-21 victory. So, yes, I should take back, at the very least, I should update my statement, if you will, when I said that the first time they'd really been tested was the Smithson Valley game. You're absolutely right. That first game, the season opener against Bernie High, that was a close game, and they were able to win it 38-36. Johnson gave him a run there for a bit before Pieper won by 2 touchdowns. But yes, that Smithson Valley game, second district ball game after that Wagner contest, really the game that I think let people know as Gano Esquivel tries to get back to the line of scrimmage but can't. There is a penalty marker on the play. That game against Smithson Valley for Pieper, kind of the statement game, if you will. Of all these other games, it was the one that most let people know Pieper is legit, and also a little bit of a message across the way to the Smithson Valley directly. Hey, we're here. We might be younger brother, but we're not necessarily little brother right now.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. They are not little brother. They are for sure younger brother. And even the game against New Braunfels, that was also a test where New Braunfels coming in undefeated in district. People thought that the Unicorns were maybe going to suffer a little bit with former starting quarterback Leighton Adams piecing out. He went off to ACU. He graduated. See you later. Clayton Nampkin coming in. Great quarterback, undefeated as they walked in. That was also considered a test, and it was for 2 quarters until Pieper decided to pull away. And the other thing about the Pieper Warriors, they are wildly consistent when they go on their runs. It just happens out of the blue sometimes. Like in the first quarter, we didn't realize that Pieper was going to score 28, almost 35 points in the first quarter when they played against New Braunfels. 3 straight touchdowns in the third quarter. And then sometimes they just go on these random runs where it seems like it takes them a little bit to get going. Not here. Let's not count tonight because they were absolutely getting going right off the bat. But sometimes it does take them a little bit to get going for no rhyme or reason, but then they actually figure it out, and then they roll through any opponent that they face.
Fair catch for Andrew Grindstaff at the 30-yard line. It follows a 3rd and long completion on a screen pass from Aiden Garcia to Alex Rodriguez. It actually had the Titans go backwards. So following the punt by Desmias Rodriguez, here's the Warriors set to take over at their own 30. And to that point, Noah, with that game against New Braunfels, I think that was a bit of an eye-opener too, because both those teams at the time came in to that ball game 3-0 in district play, and you're wondering, a la Pieper delivering a message to Smithson Valley, can New Braunfels maybe deliver a message to Pieper? And they started out well enough, and then you look at the scoreboard at the half, and they're tied. Now, the specifics, the game within the game, handoff here, coming left near the 35-yard line. The specifics within the specifics of that ball game tell you, well, they're tied, but Piper's turned it over 4 times, so it's only a matter of time before the Warriors maybe start to get on track. Is Beckham, kid, gets to carry for Pieper. He picks up 4 yards, 2nd and 6. I'll continue the thought here following this play. Now it's Campos. Samuel goes around right side near the 40. I think they're going to give him the first down, and they are. So 1st and 10. And the specifics led you to believe, well, Pieper is going to eventually turn this thing on. In the second half, they did. And they went on for that 49-35 win that night. And in talking to Coach Nick Rogers after that ball game, I asked him, I said, hey, given where you guys want to go, does it kind of scare you a little bit that you guys can flip a switch? And does that scare you a little bit in the sense that maybe the guys rely on that switch sometimes? And he answered, he said, it doesn't scare me, but that's not where you want to live.
Yeah.
You don't want to live in a spot where, oh, well, we turned it over 4 times, but we're still tied and we're fine. And I think going forward, you've seen a much cleaner Pieper effort game in and game out. And here they are up 63-0 in a playoff game.
And most of the time it takes a loss to have young guys figure out how to respond. It doesn't take a win with some mistakes, because most of the time they look at the W and they move on with their life. This Pieper Warriors team, to your point, took the win, but they also took seriously the mistakes that they made and knew where they wanted to go and knew that those mistakes would not fly against teams like Aledo, against teams like Flower Bluff, against teams like even New Braunfels, which New Braunfels, they ended up winning that game, smothering that game. But let's go further back. Against Smithson Valley, you cannot throw 3 interceptions against Smithson Valley and win a football game. That is in no shot or any way going to happen. And even for next week, when they take on Flower Bluff, let's check out some of the leaders within 5A. Who are some of the leaders in 5A that are the passing leaders? Let's look at it. Number 1, Jaden Palucio, 2,898 yards passing. Who's number 2? Caden Keith, 2,892 yards. Let's go to receiving yards. Who's number 3? Isaiah Champagne, 1,026 yards. Who's number 5? Andre Mims. So we have got a huge potential matchup next week if Flower Bluff holds on. That is a borderline state contenders facing off in round 2 of the playoffs.
Should be a lot of fun. Samuel Campos getting the carry moments ago, 4th and 8. Norsworthy also handles punting duties. Running kick looked like maybe he was going to try to keep it, but he goes out of bounds. And Legacy will start inside its own 30, actually on the other side of the 30 at their own 32 is where they'll mark it. And that's where the ball went out of bounds with 3:02 remaining in this by-district 5A Division I. So, yeah, no, you laid it out well. It shapes up to be a fantastic matchup. You throw in the records, you throw in stats, you throw in, even recent traditions to a certain extent. Flower Bluff, a team that traditionally does well, especially out of that coastal Bend area. And so a big hurdle for Pieper, it would appear, in round number 2. Zaya Lavra, carry, second string running back. Gets to the 35.
Good news for Southwest, good news for Legacy is that you've got one more year with James Ross. He's a junior.
Yes.
He's most likely not going to reclassify. Those are guys who are like national level recruits that reclassify. I'm going to guess that James Ross probably isn't going to reclassify, not because he's not good, but just the natural progression of age in high school. He's got one more year. So you can bank on another year, not of Isaiah Campa, but you've got Alex Rodriguez, you've got Aiden Garcia, junior and sophomore, James Ross, a junior. And you've got seniors. The tough part is Cano Esquivel. He's leaving. He's gone. Senior, see you later. but you do get one more year with James Ross. That is the one thing that you can bank on if you're Robert Bruce, because you can look at that first series that you had and the way that James Ross picked apart the Pieper Warriors defense. You can rest in that if there's anything to rest in and go, okay, we've got some movement. We can make some progress next year. We've just got to keep James Ross healthy.
Isaiah Labra, a third straight carry on 3rd and 3. 4th and 1 now at the 41 of Legacy. For the Titans, it's a season that started on Friday, August 30th. They beat Jefferson, who's also a playoff bound, 21-7. They then beat Lee 28-14. They went to 3-0 with a 41-6 victory against Eagle Pass win. High snap to, it appears to be Alex Rodriguez on 4th and short. First down for Legacy as we go under a minute 15, and the series continues. They suffered their first loss on September 19th in a 9-3 ball game to Jay. After that, they rebounded with a 24-14 victory against Laredo Nixon, beat Laredo Martin 26-7, lost to in district, as in their own ISD foe, Southwest High School 41-13. Then beat Southside 24-0. South San got them 41-14 last week to end the regular season. As we now go under 35 seconds to go, and technically Legacy does not have to run another play. The play clock, the difference between the play clock and the game clock is tenths of a second, but the Titans will get another snap. Their quarterback, Isaiah Campa, will not get the pass off. That sack coming courtesy of Diego Chavez.
That is a statement way to end a football game, and that one play, that one defensive showing absolutely shows how dominant the Pieper Warriors were.
And so with that, Noah Tor, I want you to give us our American Interiors defensive and offensive players of the ball game.
Offensive, you got to go Caden Keith.
I agree.
6 touchdowns in the first half. Are you kidding me? 6 whole touchdowns for Caden Keith. Let's give it to him. Offensive player of the game presented by American Interiors goes to our man, Caden Keith. And then defensive player, let's give it, you know what? Let's spice it up a little bit.
Okay.
How does that feel? Let's spice it up a little bit. Early in the beginning, there was a pass breakup from Raj Lopez. Raj Lopez does a lot of the dirty stuff that DBs don't like to do. Ton of tackles. He's got a sack, 3 INTs on the season, a fumble recovery. That pass breakup at the beginning, that was big time for that defense, and he was consistent throughout the ball game. Good job, Raj Lopez. He's going to keep it.
Congratulations to Raj Lopez and Caden Keith, our American Interiors players of the game. Pieper moving on, 63-0 the final over Southwest Legacy. And at last check, Corpus Christi Flower Bluff on top of McAllen Memorial 28-10 late in the third quarter. Pieper gets the winner of that ball game next week in the area round of the 5A Division I playoffs. So, for Noah Tor and all the wonderful folks over at Wick Productions who make each and every Warriors Network broadcast possible, we say goodnight. We'll see you next week as the Warriors continue a run they hope ends at the state title. Have a great rest of your weekend and drive home safely, everyone. If you are somewhere else, not at home, if you're at home, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you next week.
I am actually going to Abilene Christian University, and I will be minoring in entrepreneurship. I